be here because you're overweight and you want to lose weight. What should you learn about the food you consume and why? Let's continue. You know that an unhealthy diet, and that's mostly our Western diet, which is high in fat, especially saturated and trans fat, high in sugar, high in salt. This is a huge risk factor for not only cardiovascular disease, but other chronic illnesses. What have you been consuming? And how can you change from what you're eating now to something a little bit more healthy? Let's look at the impact of animal products like meat and cheese, eggs, milk. These are high in cholesterol. They're high in low density lipoprotein. That is your bad cholesterol. That's the cholesterol you want to ensure that the level is low in your diet. So the consumption of these animal products will increase this cholesterol level, leading to plaque formation in the blood vessel, leading to cardiovascular disease, leading to stroke, leading to peripheral vascular disease, even leading to diabetes, renal failure. So what should we do then? You see, animal products that are high in low density lipoprotein also harm the beta cells. These are the cells that produce insulin in your body, in your pancreas. If these beta cells are not working well, it therefore means that you may not have the adequate amount of insulin production, and this could lead to high blood sugar. If you remember a couple lessons ago, I pointed out how the fat in your diet inhibit the role of the insulin attaching to the cell membrane and therefore getting blood sugar into the cells. And if the blood sugar cannot move into the cells, you have a high buildup of blood sugar in the blood, and that is going to cause diabetes. So we want to ensure that we're decreasing the amount of animal products in our diet to prevent many diseases, including diabetes. Now let's look at processed meats and red meats. If you recall, a couple lessons ago, I showed you some research that showed that the consumption of red meat, and that was mainly pork and beef, increased the risk for death by any cause, whether it's diabetes, whether it's heart disease, whether it's cancer. So processed meats like bacon, hot dogs, sausage are classified as group 1 carcinogens. What are carcinogens? These are chemicals that increase the risk for cancer formation. So we want to ensure that we're eliminating the red meats from our diet because we group them the same as nicotine, cigarette smoking, and lung cancer and bladder cancer, cancer of the mouth. We group them the same as asbestos causing lung cancer. So you have to be careful of the consumption of red meat and processed meat. Now, red meats are now classified as class 2 carcinogens. So we want to ensure that you are actually consuming little or no red and processed meat if you want to live disease free for the rest of your life. Now, a high fat intake, where do you get fats? Bad fats, saturated fats. These are only the sources are animal products. So you want to ensure that you're not consuming a lot of saturated fats like cheese in your diet because then you're increasing the risk for multiple diseases, not only cardiovascular disease and cardiovascular death, but all the diseases like, as I mentioned, stroke, diabetes, and cancer. Every year we have close to 700,000 deaths in the United States as a result of heart disease, number one killer. And we also have close to the same cancer death. So if you can learn what to consume and what not to consume, you will actually reduce the risk of death. Now, let's look at refined food, processed foods. What are these processed and refined foods? Processed foods are made from grains that are processed. Let's look at wheat. If we remove the fiber, the outer lining of the grain, we're taking off a lot of fiber. We're taking a lot of phytonutrients, such as iron, minerals, and vitamins that the body actually needs. And therefore, we are giving to the body food that are low in fiber and all these important nutrients to keep us alive. So we want to stay away from refined sugars such as, sweeteners, carbonated drinks, candy, processed and refined foods like white rice, white pasta, white flour, white grains or processed grains. We need to stay away from those because we want to put in our bodies lots of nutrient dense food that you will learn of as we continue. Processed food are not only void of important nutrients that support the brain function, but are also highly inflammatory, possibly contributing to mood disorder. So when we talk about processed foods, we also need to look at the impact that these processed foods have not only in our physical health, but our mental health. Why should we consume unprocessed grains? You see, whole grains are high in tryptophan. Tryptophan is a very important neurotransmitter that increases the production of serotonin. Serotonin now is a neurotransmitter that is important for mood stability, alertness. Serotonin decreases the symptoms of depression. As physician, when somebody comes in our office with depression, we try to give them medication that will inhibit the blockage of serotonin or the breakdown of serotonin so that the level of serotonin in the blood can be increased in order to give the happiness, the better mood, and decreases depression symptoms. Processed food was found to be associated with, as I mentioned, depression. So we want to ensure that we think about our physical health, we think about our mental health, anxiety, depression, because studies have shown that patients who have depression and anxiety tend to have more physical ailments and then shorten lifespan. So we want to ensure that you're eating the right foods to give you the right phytonutrients that your body needs, not only for physical health, but for mental health. So let's look at some unhealthy diet. Excess salt, we all know that. Why should we avoid salt in the diet? Salt can lead to high blood pressure. High blood pressure is one of the leading causes of cardiovascular disease, can lead to enlargement of the muscles of the heart, and then lead to poor functioning of the heart and heart failure and death. You see, with with salt, what happened with salt? The more salt that we consume in our diet, this will increase the retention of water. Increased retention of water then will lead to increased blood volume. Increased blood volume will now cause high blood pressure. So we want to ensure that we decrease the consumption of salt. I must tell you something that some of the food we consume, some of the meats we consume, like chicken, did you know that chicken may contain more salt than just say a slice of pizza? Why? It is believed or it is known that salt is injected into the chicken to increase the weight. So increasing the weight means therefore that a small portion of chicken may weigh more because salt, remember now I mentioned, increased salt will pull water, increase volume, increase weight. So we have to be very careful with what we are actually consuming. You see, a diet high in saturated fat, such as meat and dairy and egg, will also increase your risk for hypertension through hardening of the blood vessels, the arteries, as well as plaque formation. And both of this will lead to increased vascular resistance. Increased vascular resistance increase your will lead to high blood pressure. So what should we consume? What should be the ideal diet? Plant-based diets are nutrient dense. They're low in calories, low and cholesterol free, and therefore can lead to preventing or reversing diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, kidney failure, and much more. You see, a diet that is high in animal product is an inflammatory diet. Inflammatory diet can lead to various diseases. A diet high in plants, fruits, and veggies, we call that anti-inflammatory diet, which is a healing diet. Nutrient dense green vegetables are the most important food to focus on in your diet. So if you want to change to a healthier diet and you want to live disease free, let's focus on the amount of fruits and veggies that you put in your diet. Studies have shown that green leafy vegetables are associated with 14% decreased risk of type 2 diabetes. So if you're here because you're diabetic, or pre diabetic, or if you're overweight, you want to ensure that you're adding more green leafy veggies. Why? You have more nutrients, you have more phytonutrients, phytochemicals. These are healing, these are anti inflammatory, and these green leafies are low in carbohydrates, low in sugar, low in calories. So you can consume a large quantity and still don't gain weight. What is the recommended amount that you should consume? Well, you should eat 4 to 5 servings of vegetables per day and ensure that these vegetables are multicolored because the difference in color will also indicate the different nutrients that you consume, the different vitamins and micronutrients that you will consume in these different colored veggies. For example, broccoli and those green leafy vegetables are high in vitamin A, they're high in calcium. The red and the orange and yellow may be higher in vitamin A, beta carotenoid. I mean, you just have to mix them. You mix them and you have a more balanced servings of various vitamins and micronutrients. Fruits are low in fat, in sodium, and calories. So eat more of them. You will have no cholesterol. You'll have a lot of great vitamins and antioxidant that the body needs to stay healthy. It's a good source of essential nutrients that if you underconsume, then you're going to, of course, increase your risk for various illnesses. Now, knowing the information is not enough. We must apply willingly enough so we can make a difference. So knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. So knowing it and having the mindset to do it, it's not enough. You must put it into action. So what do I want from you today after this lesson? I want you to start thinking that you may need to decrease the amount of red meat that you consume. Go to one servings a week, one serving a week. Go to one serving a day. And if I wish you could do that, one serving a week. I don't consume meat at all, but I know that some people may have difficulty. So let's try again. One serving a day. Then cut down to three servings a week. And then go all off the red meats. All right? Why should you avoid red meats? Red meats are high in nitrous compound, and these compounds are carcinogen. Meats are high in cholesterol. We want to stay away from the bad fats. Make sure you're consuming enough fruits and veggies and, you know, whole grains. Whole grains are high in tryptophan. If you tend to be anxious or depressed or in a low dark mood, then ensure that you're getting enough fruits and veggies as well as whole grains so you can increase the content of tryptophan that you need to produce serotonin, that beautiful happy hormone that keep you stress free.